Okay, this is part, I think, 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it's like 4 or something, but let's continue forward. So we are talking about basically the structural, the infrastructure of China itself. So all which are commodiously seated on arms of the sea, which make several isles. The city of Nanking is situated upon the river Kiam, that is the Blue River, and I think that river is the Yangtze River, some stretch of it, I guess. And upon an indifferent high hill, so that it commands all the adjacent plains, the circumference of the city is 24 miles, encompassed with a strong stone wall, environed with 130 gates, and defended by 12 forts. The province of Shintum, bounded on the north and east by the sea, and by Peking on the west, and Nanking on the south. Okay, so this is kind of like on the coastline of, I think, like the Korean Sea, something like that. I can imagine where this is at. The chief city whereof is Sinan. This province lies between Peking and Nanking. It is well watered with rivers, which makes it very fertile, abounding with so great plenty of flesh, fowl, fish, grain, fruits, etc., that the inhabitants of the province, who are very numerous, cannot consume the increase, but are forced to furnish other provinces. They have also great store of silk and other rich commodities. It hath several great cities, the chief of which are Sinan, Panakan, Sinkoyan, and Lianxiu, etc. Well, I don't really know what that etc. is supposed to imply. But, so this seems to be a very productive city. Provides a lot of food for, I guess, the rest of the states or provinces of China. That's interesting. Okay, so it's like between Beijing and Nanking. So I'm assuming possibly in more ancient times when the north and the south of China would go to war, having control of this territory would be pretty key into providing resources for the military. The province of Chekiam, bounded on the north by Nanking, on the east by the sea, by the province of Kiamshi on the west, and Fujian on the south, and extends from 27 to 31 degrees latitude. Let me look that up real quick, actually. Let's take a look at it. 27 degrees latitude. Alright. 27. Hold on, I'm using. Yeah. The latitude. I just want to check this out. There are 2 circles of latitude at 27 degrees. One is north and one is south of the equator. 27th is. Okay, so that's a bit on the southern side of Asia, China in particular. And the capital city whereof is Hamtian. This province is esteemed one of the best in China. The pleasant rivers which run through it, and the many good ports and islands it hath, makes it very commodious for trade. They mercantise very largely in raw silks and wrought silks mixed with thread, also in various kinds of stuff which are attributed not only to the other provinces of China, but to all the world. The other provinces not having sufficient for their own use of this silk, there is one fort which is revered to be employed in diverse curious work mixed with gold, and those are only for the use of the emperor's palace. This province hath about 70 cities, of which 6 are considerable note, as Quinshe, now called Hanishan, once the metropolis of China, to Liampo, a fair city seated on the sea, Ancho, also commodiously seated on the sea, and Scanton, I can't pronounce that, an inland city, 5 Chequian, also an inland city, but fair, well built, and much frequented, 6 Suku, seated on the sea, and about 25 leagues from the city of Nanking. Okay. The province of Qianxi, bounded by Chekiam and Fokien on the east. Okay, so this is more inland, I'm assuming. On Hakwam on the west, Nanking on the north, and Kwantum on the south, and extends from 26 to 31 degrees of latitude. The chief city whereof is Nanshan. This province is enclosed with mountains. Okay, so it's like in a valley, which have their passages open to the neighboring provinces, and particularly on the coast of Canton. On the mountain of Moulin, there is a great concourse for carriages of merchandises, which are transported from Canton to Nanking, which is done by mounting the river Canton. Gosh, this guy's music. Nice music, buddy. Alright, well, let's go ahead and reread some of that because it got kind of loud. Sorry about that. Particularly on the coast of Canton, on the mountains of Moulin, there is a great concourse for the carriages of merchandises, which are transported from Canton to Nanking, which is done by mounting the river of Canton into the foot of the mountain, from whence the carriages, being taken out of the vessels, are loaded and borne upon men's backs to the other side of the mountain, where there is found another navigable river, which crosses this province till it falls into the river Kiam, so the Blue River, which leads to Nanking and the sea. Oh, okay, so these guys just like basically do all the production for the big city, Nanking, and it just, the river goes down straight to it. So they're just like trading stuff, which is pretty, well, not really trading stuff, but I mean, providing resources for the rest of the city on those mountains in Qianxi. Cool. That's really interesting. From whence the carriages being taken out of the vessels are loaded. Okay, so we read that. Where there is another navigable river, the river Kiam, which leads to Nanking and the sea. Okay. In this province are 12 great cities, besides about 60 small ones. The chief city is Nanshan, seated on a lake. Chilo, Nangan, and Kwanansha, etc. Their inhabitants are so numerous that they are constrained to spread themselves throughout the empire to seek their living. It is in one of the cities of this province that they make porcelain of China ware, the water being fit to give it perfection. The province of Hokwon, bounded by Qianxi on the east, Honan on the north, and Quanxi and Kuantan on the south, the capital city whereof I can't read those at all. I wish I could, but I can't. So we're going to go up to the top of the next part of the page. This province is so abundant in rice that it is able to furnish great part of China. They have likewise plenty of oil and fish. The river Kiam and several other rivers and lakes cross it on all sides, by which they carry their commodities to Nanking and to Qinshan. It is very populous, containing 15 great cities, and about 100 small ones, the chief of which are Wuchan, Kotechio, Myanmar, and Pasia. Wow, so these guys provide a lot of rice to, I guess fish too, I would assume, since it's like a big river province. Seems like it. It's pretty nice. The province of Shuqian is bounded on the east by Hakam, on the west by the mountains of India, on the north by Senshi, on the south by Quanchu, the capital city whereof is Qingtu. So, I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've read this. Let me take a look at Senshi and what that is. China. Oh, Shanxi in China. Maps, here we go. So let's see it. Xensi, China. Shanxi. Looks like it doesn't know what to look up. It's like confused. So I think, so I wonder if I type in Suqian, China, Sichuan, I think it's now Sichuan, or maybe I can't read this right. No, it's definitely Suqian. So this is like a province in China, so yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, India is definitely on the west, like more of Tibet actually than India. That's interesting. I guess the territories are kind of different, I forget. This was made 300 years ago, seems to be about. Alright. This province is one of the least of the 16 of a lofty situation, and pours dew in its streams into the neighboring provinces. Here is found good store of yellow amber and excellent rhubarb. Its chief cities are 8 in number, besides about 120 of less note, all which are exceeding populous, the principal whereof is Qingtu. 12. The province of Kechu is bounded on the north by Suqian, on the east by Quanxi, and by Yunnan on the west and south. The capital city whereof is Kunyang. I'm sorry, I can't really read these at all. It's not only unfamiliar to me, but as well as just really hard to read on this thing. So Kuyang, I'm gonna try to look this up. China and see where that comes up. I end up just getting like a bunch of restaurants in China, which is kind of not very helpful. Ancient city, maybe it's Kuzu, maybe it's this place. Okay, let's check this out. It's west of Wuhan and Henan, and so Shanxi is probably that other one, which is a little bit more north, kind of. I think they said that there was. Yeah, if you're really not familiar with China, it's really hard to explain the areas and provinces, so this book is kind of gotta know your stuff, which I only know very little of. I just know a couple of things here and there about the empires of China. So let's continue. This province is full of hills, which makes it not very fertile in corn fruits, but it hath abundance of quicksilver and breeds of the best horses of any province of China. So, aside from trading with, like, I guess the Mongols, this province would have the best horses for China, and I guess horses are very well bred in mountainous areas. I wonder why that is. I guess it's just, I don't know. I'm not really sure why that is, honestly. It's really interesting. Because, I mean, Mongolians, they're like in like the plains area, and for this place to say it has a lot of hills, well, I guess they're not really mountainous, so when they say it has like quicksilver, I'm thinking they have a lot of mines, and it's a very mountainous area, so I guess I just have the wrong impression. The province of I can't really read that. Is it Yanina? Is bounded on the east by Kweichou and Quanxi, on the west by India, and on the south by Tonquin. So I think Tonquin is like the southernmost tip of China, if I'm not mistaken. Let me try to get that right. Reference. China. Tonquin. No. I have to like try to Google it. So Tonquer. Tonquin, China. I don't know why it's using Yahoo. You know, I read somewhere on the newsletter that Google is getting like antitrust lawsuits from having too much control on search engines. So I guess that's probably why it's like making me use Yahoo now. It's really hard to find stuff on Google nowadays. Tonquin. I'm assuming it's just like the southern part of China. Southernmost parts of China. This province is the last on the south coast. The women have here the liberty to go in public to buy and sell, which those of the other parts do not. It hath mines which yield a kind of amber, redder and less pure than ours, which hath some particular virtue against fluxes. Besides this, they transport a few commodities to other parts, though there is a great deal of gold and other commodities produced here, as agates, rubies, sapphires, benjamin, and silk. They have also excellent horses, camels, and elephants. They have likewise several great and small cities, the chief of which bears the name of the province. And sorry for the background noises, folks. It's quite loud today. I'm recording on a Saturday, and folks are really loud today, so we're all human, I guess. The province of Quanxi is bounded by Yunnan on the west, by Kweichou on the north, and Quantum on the east, and Tonquin. Yeah, see, I try to spell this in Google Maps and it just doesn't work. And Cochin, China. on the south. Yeah, so this must be like kind of going north to south. So it's kind of, this book is flowing. This province enjoys the same temperament with Canton, yields the same commodities and in as great plenty, but is not so much frequented by merchants, nor hath scarce any strangers. The reason is because the rivers lose and discharge themselves all in the province and at the city of Canton, which forces them to pass through the hands of Canton to barter their goods for others. You know, that's just really, really detailed to note that they're traveling through the rivers a lot in China, at least in this time period. Okay, this is like just what is then. So these areas are just completely passed by other travelers and from other provinces in China, because he's saying that the rivers are too strong in those areas. That's crazy. It's crazy, just minute details like that just completely block off other civilizations, other traders, other interests, you know what I mean? It kind of just interests me. Where were we? Which forces them to pass through. They have 10 large cities, the chief of which is Guangxi, which is well built and very populous, besides about 100 smaller. Yeah, so this kind of like is its own culture, a little bit of China, but I'm sure the military still passes by and exercises the taxing and securities thereof. The province of Quantum is bounded by Guangxi on the west, Huakam and Kiamxi on the north, and Fokien on the east, and the ocean on the south. Capital city, whereof is Fokien. So I wonder if this is like modern day Hong Kong. Let me try to look it up. Kind of interested. Fokien. Fokien is the region east of this China. So now it's Fujian, so that's what it said now, but this book says Fokien. Okay, yeah, so okay. And dude, I gotta change the search engine. It changed it for me to Yahoo, and I don't know why. I like to use Google because of Google Maps, so let's see. Fujian, China. And then let's take a look at the maps on here real quick. So it's a little bit northeast on the coast of Hong Kong, Fokien at least. So to the west of Fokien would be this province we're talking about, Quantum. And it looks like Hangyang or Jiangxi is what the area is called now today, but it might be different. I don't know. This province, though one of the least in extent, yet by reason of the goodness of the soil and the commodiousness of its situation, being the full that presents itself to those of Europe, Africa, and Asia, which come to China, abounds in wheat, rice, and other grain, sugar, gold, precious stones, and pearls, quicksilver, copper, steel, iron, and tin, saltpeter, silk, some kind of wood. The inhabitants are very blank. I can't read none of that, but they are better than something. It's really hurting my eyes trying to read that. Being in the first of so great masters that there is no rarity or manufacture whatsoever that comes to their fight, but they will exactly pattern as well as any Europeans, and are very expert in all sorts of goldsmiths' work. In this province are about 80 cities, small and great, the chief whereof is Canton. The province of Fukien is bounded on the west by Qianxi, on the south by Quantum, and north by Chekiam, and on the east by the ocean. The capital city whereof is Foshu. Okay. This province is not near so fertile as the former. Its inhabitants endeavor to repair this default by their trade with strangers, and principally with Japan, the Philippines, Formosa, or Fair Island. Oh, what is that? Formosa? Is that Australia? Excuse me, is that Australia? Formosa. Oh, that's Taiwan. Whoa, that's cool. Alright. Or Fair Island, huh? Which is directly opposite to their coast. To repair. And so these guys trade a lot with, I guess the other islands, a lot. And a lot of these people would be related to the people of Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines, I mean, we can assume that. So, the Philippines, which is directly sounded, the earth produced gold, iron, steel, sugar. So this province, this is really rich in resources: gold, iron, steel, sugar, calamba, spices, drugs, quicksilver, precious stones, fruit, corn, and cattle. Also silk and cotton, of which they make divers manufacturers. They likewise make all sorts of paper. There are several cities of note, but its chief are Focho, seated on a fair river, Chinchu, also commodiously seated on a river, or rather an arm of the sea, from whence it is distant about 10 leagues. Taichiu, Hakuin, and Qianxiu, which two last are seated far within land. The kingdoms of Korea, Tonquin, and Siam are also tributary to China. Korea is a peninsula, or as some say, an island, being bounded on the west by the province Liutong and the Gulf of Nanking, on the east and south by the Sea of China, and on the north by Niuk, a province of Tartary, and lies between the latitude of 36 and 42 degrees, the chief city whereof is Kim-ki. Okay. So Niuk is probably like part of Manchuria, and that's under control of, I guess, Tartary at this time, or Mongolia. This being accounted by some a province of China, occasions our notice of the situation of it in this place, as the kingdoms of Tonquin and Siam, which lie to the southward of China, have princes of their own. They shall be distinctly treated of hereafter. In the 16 provinces of China are reckoned 155 capital cities, 1,312 of the second rank, 2,357 fortified towns, and 10,128,789 families. Nekuhof tells us that it appeared by the whole book, which is exactly kept, that there was, at the time he resided there, an upwards of 58 million people in the Empire of China. That this is very easily known, because every master of a family is obliged under a severe penalty to hang over the door of his house a little board giving a particular account of all the souls in his house, and that there is an officer over every 10 hours who examines the truth of those accounts and makes his report to a superior magistrate thereof. Well, I guess they got strict rules in this city. The principal rivers of China and Kiam, or the Blue River, the Huangbo or Yellow River. So the Blue River, I think, is the Yangtze River, and the Yellow River is the more northern river that splits between Beijing and Nanjing. I am hoping it's correct. The Kiam takes its rise in the province of Yunnan upon the borders of India and runs from west to east quite across the empire and through the provinces of Shuqin, Huakam, and Nanking, running a course of 1,000 miles. Wow. That is pretty far. The Huangbo or Yellow River has its rise in the western mountains of the province of Sichuan and runs northward along the borders of Tartary beyond the Great Wall, where it re-enters China. Oh, okay. The Yellow River has its rise in the western mountains of the province of Sichuan. Hold on, let me look this up real quick and see exactly. Sichuan. So it's Sichuan, China. So this is like the right next to Tibet. It's like the central westernmost part of China, which would have been kind of, I don't think, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what's going on, okay. I'm just looking at the map and getting an idea of all this stuff. I suggest you guys also to look at a map as well, because this stuff is kind of really hard to imagine in your brain if you don't know the area very well. So the Yellow River starts in the Sichuan province and then runs northward along the borders of Tartary beyond the Great Wall. So China built the Great Wall, and they didn't enclose the Yellow River, but the Yellow River is very important. Interesting, right? Is that what this is saying? It runs northward along the borders of Tartary beyond the Great Wall. So it's going, I guess they can use it to get in and out. That would be pretty, well, if it's running one way, they wouldn't be able to go out. So the Yellow River, I'll have to take a look at what this area is talking about. Where it re-enters China. Okay, so it goes out and then goes back into China. Okay. And then runs southward between Shanxi and Shenxi, after which it passes eastward into Honan. Yeah, okay, that's like more central China, not western China, where Sichuan is, where the Yellow River starts, but so it travels more eastward, Honan, Shantung, and Nanking, and that's taking its course above 1,800 miles, and empties itself into the sea about 90 miles north of the mouth of the Kiam. Oh, so the Kiam River is said to be unfathomable in several places. The Chinese have a proverb among them, which is this: the sea, say they, hath no bounds, and the Kiam hath no bottom. has you pin kiam you is, I can't read that, and in fact so it is, for in some places there is none to be sound, in others they say there is 200 or 300 fathom water. Nevertheless it is, wait, what is this saying? So, for in some places there is none to, is it saying like they don't know where the Blue River starts? Or they don't know where this river starts, right? Nevertheless, it has been observed that their pilots don't carry with them above 50 or 60 fathom of line at longest, which makes me believe their curiosity seldom extends so far as to sound to the depth of 300 fathom, and the impossibility of finding the bottom with their ordinary plummet is sufficient, in my opinion, to incline them to such hyperboles. Okay, it's saying like the bottom of the river, they can't touch it, but it's because I guess the tools that they have to measure it don't really go all the way down, so it's saying that, it's too deep and goes all the way down. So I thought it was saying like they don't know where the start of the river is, but the navigation of this river, when swelled by torrents from the mountains, is exceedingly dangerous and becomes so rapid that many times they bear away the isles with them or lessen them very much, and sometimes form new ones in their place. One cannot but admire to see them exchange their places in such a short time, just as if by diving they had passed from one place to another, which they occasion such considerable alterations every year, that the mandarins, lest they should be mistaken, order them to be measured every 3 years, thereby to augment or diminish the imports and duties according to the condition they are found to be in. Okay. So I was just saying that like there's a lot of like failures along this river. It gets dangerous when swelled by torrents from the mountains. It gets really crazy. Okay, that's good to know. The second river known is called Huambo or Yellow River. It is so hammed because the earth it sweeps away with, especially after great rains, give it that color, and many other rivers in that rainy season seem rather torrents of mud than rivers. The waters of China in general are not fit to drink till they have been boiled, which is their principal reason of drinking them hot, and infusing tea or some other herbs in them to make them wholesome as well as palatable. Alright, so I think I'm going to stop here. I'm trying to go a little bit faster while I'm reading, but I can only get through so much without having to stop, try to read, try to understand what it's saying, and I think it's going pretty well so far though. So we will stop here on page 10 and we'll discuss more of China.